Chapter 9. Create a traffic island. In this chapter you will create a traffic island at the intersection of State Road 61 and US 98. In this chapter you'll learn about reviewing reference data, creating data shortcut references, creating a traffic island at the intersection of SR 61 and US 98 using commands such as the endCopy command, explode, fillet, join, and break at point. Then we'll create feature lines from objects for the sidewalk interior north and interior south. Then we will next create a sidewalk surface for the traffic island. We'll create a curb return assembly using the FDOT traffic island curb returns. We'll create a traffic island corridor for the interior north and the interior south. We'll create a corridor surface from corridors for the top north and for the top south. And then we'll set the traffic island surface styles. We'll create a proposed traffic island surface, and then we'll paste the surfaces of the sidewalk, the top interior north, and the top interior south together to make one complete surface. Then we'll adjust the feature line locations, and then we'll adjust the feature line elevations, and then finally review the results. Before beginning this chapter, run the Chapter 9-22049555201 exe file to restore all the files to the Civil 3D 2019 project folder. Select the file, right-click, choose Extract All, browse, make sure you're in the Civil 3D 2019 project folder, and then choose Extract. Choose Replace the files in this destination. Next, launch Civil 3D 2019 FDOT State Kit. Exercise 9.1. Create the MOD LRD06 file. In this file, we will create the MOD LRD06 file, which will be used to create the traffic island at the intersection of SR 61 and US 98. Go to the Application menu, choose Open, browse to the FDOT Civil 3D 2019 projects, choose the project directory, and then choose the roadway folder. In that folder, select 9.1, Create Traffic Island, Start, and then click Open. Once the drawing is open, go to the Application pull-down menu and then choose Save As. For the file name, give it a new file name. Type in MOD LRD06 and then click Save. After the file is saved, next associate it to the project. Select Data Shortcuts, right-click, and choose Associate Project to Current Drawing. Verify that you're in the right working folder and the right project is selected, and click OK. Save your file before continuing. Exercise 9.2. Create data shortcut references to corridor SR 61 and US 98 surface, top surface. On Toolspace on the Prospector tab, find Data Shortcuts and then find Surfaces category. Click on the plus symbol to expand surfaces. Select the corridor SR 61 and US surface top. Right-click and choose Create Reference. In the Create Reference dialog box, for the surface style, select Border Proposed Blue, and then click OK to create the surface reference. Next, save your file. Exercise 9.3. Create traffic island geometry at the intersection of SR 61 and US 98. In this exercise, you'll start the process of creating the traffic island geometry at the intersection from an attached external reference file DSGN-RD01. You will use the commands endCopy, explode, join, fillet, erase, and break at point to create the geometry for the traffic island layout later on in the exercises. So first, use the zoom and pan commands to zoom to the traffic island that's referenced in DSGN-RD01. First, you will use the endCopy command to extract boundaries of the traffic island intersection SR61 and US 98. So on the Home tab, on the Modify panel, click on the down arrow and find the InCopy command. From the InCopy command, choose the Settings option. And then next, choose the Insert option. Next, select the 5 lines that outline the 2D layout of the traffic island. Next, press Enter on the keyboard to use the displacement option. Then press Enter again to accept the 0, 0, 0 base point. That's the end of the InCopy command. Next, hover over the geometry you just inserted to get the polyline tooltip. This should be on the layer Pavement Asphalt. Next, bring your cursor over the Curve Back polyline. This is on the layer Curve Back as well. Finally, bring your cursor into the polylines inside and take note that they are polylines as well, and they are on the layer Sidewalk. Before continuing to the next exercise, save your file. Exercise 9.4. Manage the attached external reference files, or otherwise known as XREFs. You will unload the DSGN drawing as it no longer is needed to be displayed underneath the traffic island 2D geometry that you just inserted using the copy command. So go to the Insert ribbon and then go to the Reference panel. Click on the small arrow to the right corner. This brings up the External References dialog box. The 3 external reference drawings are displayed. Select the DSGN-RD file, right-click on it, and then choose Unload. Finally, close out the External Reference Tool palette, and then save your drawing. Exercise 9.5. Explode the interior traffic island geometry that you inserted using the InCopy command. So the first step is to go to the Home tab, and then go to the Modify panel. Here you will select the Explode command. With the Explode command selected, select the 5 objects in your drawing. After the 5 objects are selected, press Enter on the keyboard. Next, save your file. After you exploded the objects, you can bring your cursor over the objects and notice that they're no longer polylines, but they're now multiple objects, such as arcs and lines. Exercise 9.6. Fill up the corners which represent the interior sidewalks. So to get to the Fillet command, on the Home ribbon, under the Modify panel, choose Fillet. The command line prompts you to select the first object, or undo, specify a radius, trim, or select multiple objects. Here we want to specify the radius. With the radius option selected, enter in a value of 1.8 and then press Enter. The command line then prompts you to select your first object, or you can select multiple. So let's fill out the interior geometry that represents our sidewalk. Press Enter to repeat the command, or you can choose the multiple option. And then press Enter or press Escape to end the command as well. Save your file before continuing to the next exercise. Exercise 9.7. join geometry to create 3 separate traffic islands. In this exercise, we'll join the geometry to create 3 traffic island boundaries. So to do this, for the first step, you're going to go to the Home ribbon, under the Modify panel, and you're going to select the Join command. Click on the down arrow and this exposes the Join command. With the Join command selected, the command line prompts you to select object or multiple objects to join at once. So let's select the geometry that is used to create the exterior traffic island boundary. And then press enter. If you bring your cursor over the object, you notice that all the objects have been converted into one polyline. Let's go ahead and save our file, and then we'll repeat the command once more to join the interior traffic island boundaries. You may have to zoom in to make sure you catch the small little sliver of a line down the south end of the island. And then press enter in the command. Next, just to make sure, hover over the polylines to display the tooltips just to confirm you have created 2 new polyline objects. And then save your file before continuing. Exercise 9.8. Use the Break at Point command to break the exterior traffic island boundary polyline. We'll use the Break at Point command to break the exterior traffic island boundary to create 2 segments which represent the edge of pavement for the south and north end of the sidewalk. So to get to the Break command, make sure that you're on the Home ribbon, then go to the Modify panel, and then select Break at Point. The command line then prompts you to select an object. Select the polyline for the outside edge of pavement. The command line then prompts you to specify your first breakpoint. Select the first breakpoint by using the nearest object snap. So hold down the Shift key, right click, and then choose nearest. Bring your cursor back over to the edge of pavement and snap right around where the tangency of the interior traffic island is located. Press enter to repeat the command. Select the same polyline, hold down the Shift key for nearest, and then choose close to the other arc or tangency of the south interior traffic island. If your object breaks like this, it's very simple to fix. Just select the line, drag it over, do a Shift right click, and choose Endpoint to connect it to the other side. Let's use the Break at Point command to do the same thing on the other side. So choose Modify, choose Break at Point, select the object, Shift right click and choose Nearest. Give it a nearest snap. Press spacebar to repeat the command. Select the object again. Use a Shift right click for nearest. And then select. Next, let's erase the remaining objects. So on the Modify command, choose the Erase command, and then pick the remaining edge of pavement objects as they're no longer needed. Then press enter. Then save your file before continuing to the next exercise. Exercise 9.9. Create feature line from objects for traffic island edge of pavement sidewalk. In this exercise, you will create a feature line from objects which represent the north edge of pavement for the sidewalk. Then you will create a feature line from objects which represent the south edge of pavement for the sidewalk. So to do this, go to the Home ribbon, go to the Create Design panel, select Feature Line, and then select Create Feature Line from Objects. The command line then prompts you to select lines, arcs, polylines, or 3D polylines to convert them to feature lines. So select the polyline created which represents the north edge of pavement for the sidewalk in the southwest quadrant of the intersection of SR 61 and US 98. Then press Enter. From the Create Feature Lines dialog box, use these values. Site 1, select the Name checkbox, and then type in FDOT, Pavement, P-A-V-T, Concrete, C-O-N-C-R-E-T-E, space T-I, dash south, dash north. For the style, choose FDOT Pavement Concrete from the pull-down menu. For the layer, use the default layer breakline_DP. For conversion options, check Erase Existing Entities, make sure that Assign Elevations is unchecked, and then make sure that Weed Points is unchecked as well, and then click OK. Let's go ahead and save our file before continuing. Let's repeat the process for creating a feature line from objects which represents the south edge of pavement for the sidewalk. So once again, on the Home ribbon, under the Create Design panel, choose the feature line and then choose Create Feature Lines from Objects. Next, select the polyline created which represents the south edge of pavement for the sidewalk in the southwest quadrant of the intersection of SR 61 and US 98. Then press Enter. From the Create Feature Lines dialog box, use the following values. Site 1 should be selected. Click the checkbox for name and enter in the following name. FDOT, Pavement, P-A-V-T, Concrete, C-O-N-C-R-E-T-E, space T-I, dash side, dash south. For the style, select the down arrow and choose FDOT Pavement Concrete. For conversion options, have Erased Existing Entities selected, uncheck Assign Elevations, and uncheck Weed Points, and then click OK. The command line displays that feature line has been added to Site 1. Let's go ahead and save our file before continuing. Exercise 9.10. Create feature lines from objects for the traffic island interior. So in this exercise, we're going to create a feature line from objects which represent the traffic island interior north boundary. Then we'll create a feature line from objects which represents the traffic island interior south boundary. So to do this, go to the Home tab, go to the Create Design panel, then select the Feature Line command, and then choose Create Feature Lines from Objects. The command line then prompts you to select your lines, polylines, or 3D polylines to convert to feature lines. So next we're going to select the polyline created using the join which represents the traffic island interior north boundary. Then press Enter. For Create Feature Lines, enter the following values. Site 1, click the checkbox for name. Enter in the following name, FDOT, Pavement, P-A-V-T, Concrete, C-O-N-C-R-E-T-E, space T-I, dash I-N-T, dash north. For the style, Click on the down arrow and choose FDOT Pavement Concrete from the drop-down menu. For conversion options, check Erase Existing Entities. This time, check Assign Elevations, and then make sure weed points are unchecked, and then click OK. From the Assign Elevations dialog box, choose the following options. Select from Surface. For the surface, click on the down arrow and choose Corridor SR61 and US 98 Surface Top. Then uncheck Insert Intermediate Ground Breakpoints. Then click OK. The command line then displays that the feature lines were added to Site 1. Let's save your file before continuing. Next, we're going to repeat the process of creating a feature line from objects which represents the interior south boundary of the traffic island. So go to the Home ribbon under the Create Design panel, under Feature Lines, and choose Create Feature Lines from Objects. Select the polyline that was created using the Join command, which represents the traffic island interior south boundary, and then press Enter. In the Create Features dialog box, again enter the following values. Choose Site 1, check the option for name, and type in the following name: FDOT, Pavement, PAVT, Concrete, space TI dash INT dash South. For the style, select the drop-down menu and choose FDOT Pavement Concrete. For conversion options, check Erase Existing Entities, and then check Assign Elevations, and make sure that weed points are unchecked, and click OK. In the Assign Elevations dialog box, check From Surface option. On the drop-down menu, make sure that Corridor SR61 and US 98 Surface Top is selected. Uncheck Insert Intermediate Grade Points, and then click OK to close the Create Features Line dialog box. Again, notice that the command line says a feature line has been added to Site 1. You can hover over your feature lines to display the tooltips to confirm that you have created feature lines, the name, the style, and the layer that they reside on. Save your file before continuing. To review the feature lines in drawings, go to the Tool Space tab. On the Prospector tab, expand Sites, expand Site 1, and then select Feature Lines. You will then see your feature lines displayed on the bottom of the tool space. Exercise 9.11. Create Traffic Island Sidewalk Surface. So to create the Traffic Island Sidewalk Surface, we need to go to the Home ribbon, go to the Create Design panel, then we need to go to the Create Ground Data panel, then select the pull-down menu for Surfaces, and then choose Create Surface. From the Create Surface dialog box, we're going to assign the following values. For the type of surface, we want to make sure that we're using tin surface. And then for properties, let's give the surface a name. So select then the value for the name category and type in Traffic Island-Sidewalk. For the style, let's select 1:1 Proposed Blue. And then click OK. For the render material, leave the default for global. And then click OK to continue and to close the Create Surface dialog box. To review the surface that you just created, on Tool Space on the Prospector tab, expand the Surfaces category. Here we will find the new Traffic Island Sidewalk surface is displayed. Exercise 9.2. Add brake lines to surface Traffic Island Sidewalk. So in this exercise, you will add feature lines as brake lines to surface Traffic Island Sidewalk that you created in the prior exercise. But first, you will have to add the feature line FDOT Pavement Concrete TI Side North to the Traffic Island Sidewalk. Then you will add the feature line FDOT Pavement Concrete TI Side South to the Traffic Island Sidewalk. So to do this, on the Tool Space Prospector tab, with the Traffic Island Sidewalk surface expanded, right-click and choose Select. You'll then notice that the 10 surface Traffic Island Sidewalk tab is displayed in the ribbon. From the Modify panel, you will then select Add Data, and then select the Brake Lines command. From the Add Brake Lines dialog box, enter the following values. For the description, type in FDOT Pavement Concrete TI Side North. For the type, select Standard. For the file link options, Brake Link to File should be the default option selected. Make sure that Weeding Factors is unchecked, and then for supplemental factors, check distance for 5 feet, and for mid-ordinate distance, type in 0.01, and then click OK. Select the FDOT Pavement TI Side North feature line, and then press Enter. And then repeat the process one more time. On the Modify panel, choose Add Data, and then choose Brake Lines. For the description, type in FDOT Pavement Concrete TI South Side. Make sure that Weeding Factors is unchecked. For supplemental factors, select the distance box and type in a distance of 5. For the mid-ordinance distance, type in a distance of 0.01. Click OK, and then select the FDOT Pavement Concrete TI Side South feature line, and then press Enter. You'll now see that there is a new traffic sidewalk surface that has been created between the two feature lines. With the surface still selected, go to the Modify panel and select Surface Properties. From the Surface Properties dialog box, set the style to No Display. Click OK to continue and to close the Traffic Island Sidewalk dialog box. The Traffic Island surface is no longer displayed. Save your file before continuing to the next exercise. Exercise 9.13. Create curb return assembly for the traffic island. In this exercise, you will create a curb return using the named FDOT assembly traffic curb returns to use in creating the traffic island corridor model. So for the first step, go to the Home tab on the Create Design panel and then select Assembly, and then select the Create Assembly command. In the Create Assembly dialog box, enter the following values. For the name, type in FDOT Traffic Island Curb Return. Leave the assembly type to Other, leave the assembly style to FDOT, and leave the code set style to FDOT assembly codes, and then click OK. Scroll out a little bit from your project area, maybe perhaps where the profiles are at, and then left click to place your assembly. And then save your file. Exercise 9.14. Adding subassemblies to the FDOT Traffic Island Curb Return Assembly. So to add a subassembly to your assembly, we want to make sure that we have our tool palettes up. If you don't have your tool palettes up, just go to the Home ribbon under the Palettes panel and select Tool Palettes. Once Tool Palettes is up, locate the Curb and Gutter palette. Once you locate the Curb and Gutter palette, select Type E Curb. When the property box comes up for the Type E Curb, for the side to select, click on the down arrow and choose Right. For the insertion point, click on the down arrow again and choose Back of Curb. Once you have these two settings up, locate the assembly marker and click on the right side of the assembly marker to place your curb subassembly. After you place your curb subassembly, you can right click and choose Enter to end the command, and then that closes out the property dialog box. Save your file before continuing. Exercise 9.15. Create corridor traffic island interior north. In this exercise, you will create the corridor traffic island interior north. You will use feature lines in the assembly FDOT traffic island curb return created in the previous exercise. So first, to create the corridor, you're going to go to the Home ribbon under the Create Design panel, and you're going to choose the corridor option. In the Create Corridor dialog box that comes up, change the name. Call it Corridor-Traffic Island-Interior North. Leave the current style to FDOT. For the baseline type, we're going to choose Feature Line as opposed to Alignment Profile. For the site, choose Site 1. And then for Feature Line, click on the down arrow and you're going to choose FDOT Pavement Concrete Traffic Island Interior North. For the assembly, click on the down arrow and choose FDOT Traffic Island Curb Return. Leave the targeting surface box set to none and then click OK. Next, from the Baseline and Regions Perimeter dialog box, locate the Set All Frequencies button at the top right hand corner. From the Frequencies to Apply Assembly dialog box, set the following values. For horizontal baseline, along tangents, set it to 1. For curve increments, set that to 0.5. And for along spirals, set that to 0.5 as well. For vertical baseline, set it to 0.5. And leave everything else as the default settings. And then click OK to return to the Baseline and Regions Parameter Corridor Traffic Island dialog box. Next, click OK to continue to close the Baseline and Regions Parameter dialog box as well. When prompted, select Rebuild the Corridor from the Corridor Properties Rebuild dialog box. Next, zoom out back to your traffic island and locate. Your interior north model should appear like this. If you hover over the corridor traffic island, you can display the tooltips. Also, from the Prospector tab, locate Corridor to find the new corridor you just created. If we notice, we can look at this and see that our corridor looks a little weird, that we have what's known as bow ties. So that means that when we built the corridor, it probably didn't go in the right direction. So what we need to do is reverse the direction of the feature line. So hover your cursor over the corridor until you see the feature line option. In the selection dialog box, choose feature line. Up on top, on the ribbon, under Edit Geometry, choose the Reverse option, and then rebuild your corridor again. In the panorama that comes up, choose the Action pull-down menu and choose Clear All Events, and then choose the green checkbox. Save your file when complete. Exercise 9.16. View the corridor model, traffic island, interior, north in 3D. To view your corridor in 3D, select the corridor, and then you can either right-click and choose Object Viewer, or from the ribbon on the far left-hand side, choose the Object Viewer option. Left-click inside the Object Viewer to rotate your corridor model around and inspect it. When done inspecting your model, click on the X in the top right-hand corner and then save your file before continuing to the next exercise. Exercise 9.17. Create corridor, traffic island, interior south. In this exercise, you'll create the south end of the traffic island, repeating the same steps as previous exercise. So from the Home tab, under the Create Design panel, choose the Corridor button and choose Create Corridor. Give the corridor a name. Here we're going to call it Corridor-Traffic Island Interior South. Leave the corridor style set to FDOT. For baseline type, again choose Feature Line, but this time for Feature Line, click on the down arrow and choose FDOT Pavement Concrete TI Interior South. For Site, also make sure to choose Site 1. For the assembly, click on the down arrow and choose FDOT Traffic Island Curb Return. For Target Surface, choose Traffic Island Sidewalk. In the previous step, we didn't choose a target surface, so we'll go back and correct that in just a moment. For now, go ahead and click OK. Again, in the Baseline and Regions Parameter dialog box on the top right-hand corner, choose Select All Frequencies and enter in the following values. For a long target, we're going to do every 1 feet. For curved increments, we're going to do 0.5. And for long spirals, we're going to do 0.5 as well. For long vertical curves, we're going to choose 0.5. Leave everything else to the default setting, then click OK. Finally, click OK to close the Baseline and Regions Parameter dialog box, and then choose the Rebuild Corridor option. Next, let's go back and set the target surface for the north side of a traffic island. To do that, simply select the corridor, right-click, and then choose Corridor Properties. When the Corridor Properties dialog box comes up, on the top right-hand corner, choose Set All Targets. And then for surfaces, choose the Click Here to Set All option, and then choose Traffic Island Sidewalk. Then click OK. Click OK again to close the target mapping, and then click once more to close the Corridor Properties dialog box. And then if the Panorama dialog box comes up, simply click on Actions, Clear All Events, and then close out of the dialog box. Finally, save your drawing before continuing to the next exercise. Exercise 9.18. View the corridor model traffic island interior south in 3D. This time, to view the corridor and Object Viewer, select the south end of the corridor, right-click, and choose Object Viewer. When Object Viewer comes up, left-click on the mouse and drag your mouse around, or use the mouse wheel to pan down and view your corridor model in 3D. After you're satisfied viewing this, go to the top right-hand corner and click on the X to exit out of Object Viewer. Exercise 9.19. Create corridor surface from corridor traffic island interior north. In this exercise, you will create a corridor surface from the corridor traffic island interior north. So first, go to your tool space on the Prospector tab Under the corridor category, locate Corridor Traffic Island Interior North. Select that corridor, right-click, and choose Properties. In the Corridor's Property dialog box, locate the Surfaces tab up on the top left-hand corner. In the Services portion of the dialog box on the far left-hand corner, choose the Create a Corridor Surface option. Next, let's rename the corridor surface by double-clicking inside the name and typing in Corridor Traffic Island Interior North Top. Next, to add data to the Corridor Traffic Island, set the following values. For the specified code, make sure that top is selected and click the plus button to add that code to define your corridor surface. Then for surface style, select triangles 1-to-1 proposed blue. Then click OK. Next, check Add as Break Lines option, and then for overhang correction, set it to top links. Then click OK to continue and close the Corridors Property dialog box. Choose the Rebuild Corridor option. The new Corridor Traffic Island Interior North surface top is displayed. Hover over the corridor to display the tooltips. Save your file before continuing to the next exercise. Exercise 9.20. Create corridor surface from Corridor Traffic Island Interior North. In this exercise, we will create a new corridor surface from Corridor Traffic Island Interior North. To do this, on the tool space, on the Prospector tab, locate the Traffic Island Interior South. Select that corridor, right-click, and then choose Properties. In the Corridor Properties dialog box for Corridor Traffic Island Interior South, choose the Surface tab. To create a surface, locate the button on the far left-hand side, Create a Corridor Surface. For data type, set to links, and in the specified code, make sure that top is selected, and then click the plus button to add that code to define your surface. For surface style, select Triangles 1-to-1 proposed blue. Then click OK. Next, check Add as Break Lines, and then for overhead corrections, choose Top Links. Finally, click OK to close out of the Corridor Properties dialog box. When prompted, select Rebuild the Corridor. Next, to view the surface that you've created, on Tool Space, on the Prospector tab, find the Surfaces category. Click the plus symbol to expand it. Here you will find the new surfaces that you've just created. To rename the surface to match the top one, so this one says South, you can select the surface, right-click, and go to Surface Properties. On the Information tab, for name, you want it to say Traffic Island Interior South Top. And then click OK to update the name. Save your file before continuing to the next exercise. Exercise 9.21. View the corridor surfaces for the traffic island in 3D. In this exercise, you'll use the Object Viewer to view the corridor surfaces Traffic Island North and Traffic Island South top in 3D. Select both corridor surfaces by left-clicking on them. Next, from the Surfaces tab on the left-hand side, choose Object Viewer. When Object Viewer comes up, left-click on your mouse and drag around to view your two surfaces in 3D. After finished viewing the surfaces, click on the X in the top right-hand corner to return back to your model drawing. Press Escape to deselect your surfaces and have your ribbons return back to their default state. Exercise 9.22. Set traffic island surfaces display properties. In this exercise, you will set all the traffic island display properties to no display. So on the tool space, on your Prospector tab, expand Surfaces. From the Surface Name column, select the corridor traffic island interior north top, and select the traffic island interior south top. To select both of them, hold down the Control key. Next, right-click on the bottom where it says Style for triangles, and then choose Surface Properties. In the Surface Properties dialog box, for Surface Style, click on the down arrow, scroll up to the top and choose No Display, and then click OK. If both don't change, you might have to do one at a time. So just right-click on the next one, choose Surface Properties. Again, go to Surface Style, and choose No Display. The selected surfaces are no longer displayed. All you should see is the two corridors and the two edge of pavement lines. Save your file before continuing to the next exercise. Exercise 9.23. Create proposed traffic island surface. In this exercise, you will create a proposed traffic island surface definition. To do this, go to the Home ribbon. Under the Create Design panel, select Surfaces. Not under the Create Design panel, it's actually under the Create Ground Data panel. Select Surfaces, and then choose Create Surface. From the Create Surface dialog box, for Traffic Island name, type in Traffic Island-Proposed. For description, leave blank. For style, set to triangles 1:1 proposed blue. For rendered material, leave it at the default value and click OK. Next, to review your surface that you just created, on the Prospector tab under Tool Space, under the Surfaces category, you will now find the Traffic Island Proposed Surface. Save your file before continuing. Exercise 9.24. Paste surfaces into the Traffic Island Proposed Surface. To paste the surfaces, the first step you're going to do is from the Tool Space on the Prospector tab, locate the Traffic Island Proposed. Click the plus symbol next to it to expand it. Click the plus symbol next to Definition and locate the Edits option. Right-click on Edits and choose Paste Surface. Under Paste Surface, hold down the Control key and select Corridor Traffic Island Interior North Top, Corridor Traffic Island Interior South Top, and Traffic Island Sidewalk. Then click OK to close the Select a Surface to Paste dialog box. The surface Traffic Island Proposed with 3 pasted surfaces is now displayed. Hover over the island proposed to display the tooltips. Save your file before continuing. Exercise 9.25. View the surface Traffic Island Proposed in 3D. First, select the surface Traffic Island Proposed. Right-click and choose Object Viewer. Left-click on the file to rotate your drawing around to view the results of your 3 surfaces pasted together. Note that it appears you have a problem with the elevations on the feature lines you created for the Traffic Island Sidewalk surface. To fix this issue, you will need to adjust the feature line elevations in the next exercise. So for now, close the Object Viewer and then save your file before continuing. Exercise 9.26. Adjust feature line elevation used for the traffic island sidewalk surface. In this exercise, you will adjust elevation of the feature line used for the traffic island sidewalk surface. So first, to do this, select the feature line FDOT Pavement Concrete TI Side North. From the selection dialog, select feature line. Select the grip on the northern end of the feature line using an endpoint object snap. To select the point where the feature line FDOT Pavement Concrete TI Side North blends into the corridor traffic interior north. Now select the grip on the south end of the feature line. Again, using an endpoint snap, select where the north end blends into the corridor traffic island interior south. Repeat the process for the FDOT Pavement Concrete TI South side. When done, press Escape to deselect the feature lines. The next step in the process is under Surfaces, select Traffic Island Proposed. Right-click and then choose Surface Properties. From the Surface Property dialog box, choose the Definition tab. Then under the Parameters column, select Add Surface Traffic Island Sidewalk. You need to change the order of these surfaces that are displayed. With the Add Surface Traffic Island Sidewalk selected, select the arrow on the left side with the line above it. Use the red arrow as a reference in your book. This will move the surface Add Surface Traffic Island Sidewalk surface above the other surfaces, which will cause the surface triangulation to be updated. Click OK to continue and close the Surface Properties dialog box. Select the Rebuild Surface option. The Traffic Island proposed surface now displays with Surface Traffic Island Sidewalk triangulation lines no longer crossing over the Traffic Island corridor model. Save your file before continuing. Exercise 9.27. Adjust feature line elevations used for the Traffic Island Sidewalk surface. In this exercise, you will continue to adjust the elevation of the feature lines used for the Traffic Island Sidewalk surface. Select the feature line FDOT Pavement Concrete TI Side North from the Selection dialog Select Feature Line box. The feature line FDOT Pavement Concrete TI Side North tab is displayed on the ribbon. From the Edit Elevation panel, select Elevation Editor. From the Elevation Editor, select both stations by using the Control key. Then select either cell in the elevation column. Enter 34.35 as the new elevation value. Close the elevation editor. Repeat the process again. Select the feature line FDOT Pavement Concrete TI Side South. From the Selection dialog box, choose Feature Line. You may have to press Escape to deselect the previous feature line and then repeat the process again. In the elevation editor, once again, hold down the Control key and select both columns. For the elevation, type in 34.35. Press the checkbox on the far right-hand corner to close out of the elevation editor. And if the panorama comes up, go to the Actions pull-down menu, choose Close All Events, and close out of that dialog box as well. Save your file before continuing. From the tool space on the Prospector tab, with surfaces expanded, a golden shield is now displayed next to the Traffic Island Sidewalk. Select that surface, right-click, and choose Rebuild. For Traffic Island Proposed, do the same thing. Select the surface, right-click, and then choose Rebuild. Save your file before continuing to the next exercise. Exercise 9.28. View the surface Traffic Island proposed in 3D. Left-click on the Traffic Island proposed surface, right-click, and then choose Object Viewer. Left-click on the surface to rotate your model and view your object in 3D. Your sidewalk now should have the correct elevations. Once you're done examining your proposed surface, click on the X on the top right-hand corner, and then save your file.